Have you ever sensed that something was off about someone? Like an invisible weight in the air, a subtle feeling of unease as if their presence drained the energy from the room. You can't quite explain it, but deep down, you know. Evil doesn't always arrive with a snarl or a villain's mask. It rarely announces itself. Instead, it wears a smile, speaks with charm, and often appears helpful at first. These people don't need a reason to harm you. They do it because it is their nature. They manipulate, deceive, and control, not through force, but through the slow erosion of your confidence, your peace, and even your perception of reality. In Stoicism, we are taught to guard our minds and spirits, to recognize what is within our control. One of the most important skills in life is learning to identify those who mean us harm before they get too close, because evil is rarely obvious until it's too late. But here's the good news: evil leaves clues. There are clear warning signs, red flags, that if you pay attention will reveal the truth about a person's character. Recognizing these signs can protect not just your peace, but your very sense of self. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 powerful red flags that expose the toxic, manipulative individuals around you. Learn these, and you won't just avoid pain, you'll reclaim your strength. Before we dive in, if you're ready to protect your peace and elevate your mindset, consider subscribing now. Let's get into it. Number 1. They make you feel like you're always at fault. Have you ever felt like you're always the one in the wrong in a relationship? Even when you remember things clearly, the other person insists that you're mistaken, that you're being too sensitive or overreacting. If this sounds familiar, you may be experiencing gaslighting, a manipulative tactic that evil individuals use to control you. Gaslighting isn't just about lying or hiding the truth. It's about distorting reality so you lose confidence in yourself. These people don't need evidence or logic. They only need to plant a seed of doubt in your mind, which allows them to manipulate your thoughts and emotions to their advantage. Imagine you're in an argument, and you know for a fact that you're remembering the situation correctly. But the other person smirks, shakes their head, and tells you that you're overreacting. They say you always make a big deal out of things, that you're just too emotional. You try to defend yourself, but they keep denying and twisting the facts until you start questioning your own memory. Over time, you stop being sure of yourself. Every disagreement ends with you backing down, staying silent, and even apologizing when you've done nothing wrong. You begin to feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid that anything you say or do will be used against you. This is the power of gaslighting. It erodes your self-trust and makes you completely dependent on the other person for reality. Evil gaslighters don't do this because they're unaware of the truth. They do it because they need you to doubt yourself. When you're unsure of your own mind, they can control you more easily. They want you to feel like the problem, to believe you're unstable, so you stop trusting your own judgment. This is a dangerous tactic because if you don't recognize it, it slowly destroys your self-esteem. You may become hesitant, unable to make decisions for yourself, and, worst of all, you may start believing that you don't deserve respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us that truth doesn't depend on what others say about you. It depends on how you see yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that no matter how much someone tries to distort reality, you have the ability to hold on to your own truth. When someone constantly dismisses your emotions and makes you feel like you're always wrong, stop and ask yourself, am I really wrong, or am I being manipulated? Stoicism doesn't encourage you to argue with people like this, but rather to silently step back, stand firm in your reality, and protect your inner peace. If you constantly feel guilty without a reason, if someone repeatedly tells you your feelings don't matter or that your perceptions are incorrect, It's not because you're too sensitive. It's because someone is manipulating you. Don't ignore this red flag. Trust your instincts, hold on to your truth, and, if necessary, walk away from toxic relationships. A good person will make you feel safe, respected, and heard, but an evil person will always make you question yourself. Guard your reality, because it's the one thing they can never take away from you. Number 2, they use your vulnerability against you. One of the most toxic behaviors of an evil person is using your vulnerabilities against you. There is nothing more painful than trusting someone, sharing your deepest fears, insecurities, and moments of weakness, only to realize they were gathering ammunition to use against you when the opportunity arises. We all have moments of weakness where we feel safe confiding in someone, believing they will hold our secrets with respect. But to those with a malicious heart, this is just an opportunity to manipulate and control you. They take your most private thoughts, twist them, and use them to hurt or diminish you when you least expect it. Imagine you once confided in someone about how you struggled to overcome a significant loss in your life. You trusted that they would understand, but over time, they bring up your pain in ways that make you feel small. They might throw comments at you like, "You're always like this, weak and never changing," or "No wonder that happened to you." They use your past as a weapon, twisting the story to make you doubt yourself. When conflict arises, they bring up your old wounds, reminding you of past mistakes or difficult moments just to make you feel worthless. This isn't just a simple insult, it's a deep betrayal. Evil people exploit your weaknesses because they know it gives them power over you. They want you to feel small, helpless, and dependent on them. They want to ensure that you never gain the strength to stand up for yourself or escape their control. This is one of the most insidious forms of manipulation because it's not just emotional abuse. It's a betrayal of trust on the deepest level. You trusted them with your vulnerability, and they turned it into a weapon against you. Stoic philosophy teaches us that no one can harm you unless you allow them to. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means that you do not have to carry the burdens that others try to place on you. You are not obligated to let someone make you feel small just because they cannot stand your light. When you recognize that someone is using your vulnerabilities against you, it is time to reclaim your power. Do not give them control over your emotions. Do not allow them to manipulate your story. You have value in your own right, and no one has the right to take that away from you. Distance yourself from these people and protect your peace because you deserve to be surrounded by those who respect you, not those who exploit you. Number 3, they constantly lie or manipulate the truth. Lies come in many forms. Sometimes they're harmless, meant to spare someone's feelings. But in the hands of a truly evil person, lies become a weapon used to manipulate, control, and distort reality. These people don't lie just to avoid trouble. They lie to shift power in their favor. They don't care about making things easier. They care about bending reality to suit their needs and keeping you off balance. Stoic philosophy teaches us an essential truth. Reality is not something we should run from. Epictetus once said, "We do not control what others do, but we control how we respond." When faced with a master manipulator, you must remain grounded, control your emotions, and see situations objectively. Evil people will try to make you doubt yourself, but if you cultivate a stoic mindset, you won't fall into their trap. Imagine having a conversation with someone you trust. You listen carefully, believing in their words, only to realize over time that something feels off. They might tell you one thing today, then deny it later when the truth comes out. Or worse, they twist events so that you start questioning your own memory. This isn't just casual dishonesty. It's a calculated tactic designed to confuse and isolate you, making you doubt your own perception of reality. These individuals don't just lie when necessary. They fabricate stories, exaggerate situations, and manipulate words in ways that make you feel paranoid. The scariest part, they will never admit their actions. To an evil person, honesty isn't a value. It's a tool for control, deception, and dominance. Lying becomes second nature to them, making it nearly impossible to trust anything they say. If someone in your life constantly twists the truth for their own benefit, that is a clear red flag of their malicious intent. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The most dangerous part of being around a liar is that they can make you lose faith in yourself. But if you develop a Stoic mindset, you will train yourself to see things with clarity and reason. You won't be easily swayed by deception because you'll understand that truth does not depend on how someone else manipulates it. If you recognize this behavior in someone, don't ignore it. Trust your instincts. You don't need to confront them, but you can protect yourself by setting firm boundaries. Epictetus reminds us, "The wise man does not need to prove anything to a liar, for the truth will do that on its own." Do not let these manipulators control your perception and emotions. You deserve to live in honesty and peace, not in confusion and deceit. Number 4, they love conflict. Some people can never be satisfied with peace. While most of us cherish harmony, value stability, and try to avoid unnecessary tension, truly evil people thrive on chaos. It's not enough for them to simply engage in conflict. They deliberately create it. For them, stirring up drama, fueling discord, and watching the fallout is a form of entertainment. It's their way of manipulating those around them and asserting control over every situation. They feed off the emotional turmoil they cause, like an artist painting with the colors of pain and frustration. Imagine being at a family gathering, surrounded by warmth, laughter, and the comfort of familiar faces. The evening is peaceful, everyone is sharing stories, recounting fond memories, and enjoying each other's company. But then, suddenly, it happens. Someone makes a sly remark, a comment designed to stir up tension, to subtly target a vulnerable point. They know exactly how to trigger a reaction, how to cause a shift in the energy of the room. Within moments, the atmosphere changes. The laughter dies down, and voices begin to rise. Tempers flare, misunderstandings bubble to the surface, and what was once a joyful evening now feels heavy. You look around, confused, and see how the warmth has been replaced by sharp words and defensive postures. And in the middle of all this, there they are, sitting back, watching with a subtle smirk, a glint of satisfaction in their eyes. They're like a puppeteer who has just pulled a string, waiting to see how far the chaos will spread. They've ignited the flame, and now they're reveling in the sparks flying in every direction. But the worst part is yet to come. These conflict-loving individuals don't stop with a single argument. No, they don't just throw a bomb and wait for it to explode. They spread rumors, twist facts, and deliberately misinterpret the truth. They want to drive a wedge between friends, between family, between colleagues. They want to see relationships crumble, friendships break, and trust erode, all while they play the innocent bystander or the so-called peacemaker. It's like watching a master manipulator at work. They thrive on watching people turn against each other, watching emotions fray and minds become clouded with doubt. They want you to feel isolated, exhausted, and ultimately out of control. They feed off your unease, enjoying the discomfort they've caused, knowing they're the ones pulling the strings. But here's the lesson we need to learn. Stoic philosophy offers a powerful insight into how we can protect ourselves from this toxic cycle. While we can't control the actions of others, we can control our response to them. We have the power to decide how much of our emotional energy we give away, and whether we allow someone else's conflict to disrupt our peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, remind yourself that you will meet people who are deceitful, selfish, and manipulative, but you do not have to become like them." This quote is a reminder that we are not powerless in the face of manipulation. What it tells us is that we don't have to play their game. An evil person doesn't just crave conflict. They want you to engage, to react. They want to see your frustration, your anger, your emotional outbursts, because that gives them control over you. The moment you react, the moment you get caught up in their drama, you've already fallen into their trap. The only way to break free from this toxic cycle is to remain calm, grounded, and firm in your sense of self. Don't let them pull you into their emotional chaos. Stay anchored to your values, your beliefs, and your inner peace. Refuse to let them control your emotions. Epictetus wisely reminds us, "Whoever angers you, owns you." When you allow anger, frustration, or drama to dictate your reactions, you're giving someone else control over your emotional state. By holding on to your peace and not getting caught up in the conflict they create, you reclaim your power. If you notice someone in your life who constantly stirs the pot, who disrupts your peace, it's time to set boundaries. You don't need to confront them head-on, but you do need to distance yourself. Protect your space. These people are not worth sacrificing your peace for. Remember, you don't need anyone in your life who thrives on creating chaos, conflict, and negativity. Life is too short to let someone steal your peace. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who contribute positively to your life. Don't let the manipulators of the world distract you from what truly matters, your inner tranquility, and the love you share with those who genuinely care for you. Number 5. They play the victim in every situation. It's a manipulative strategy that people with ill intentions use to control others. No matter what life throws at them, whether it's a setback at work, a personal conflict, or a challenge in their relationships, they always find a way to twist the narrative, positioning themselves as the one who is suffering the most. They craft a carefully constructed story, one where the world is always unfair to them. They make it seem like everyone is out to get them, that they're constantly mistreated, and they never get the opportunities they deserve. They paint themselves as innocent victims in a cruel, unjust world. But beneath this carefully crafted facade lies the truth. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They want to avoid admitting that their choices, their behaviors, their attitudes, and even their words have played a huge part in the mess they find themselves in. They need to point fingers to find someone to blame, and if you're not careful, you may just become that person. Imagine having someone in your life who always complains about the injustices they face. Every time something doesn't go their way, they act like it's the end of the world. They're quick to point the finger at their boss, their co-workers, their friends, and even their own family. They never stop to reflect on their role in the situation. They manipulate your emotions, spinning endless sob stories that make you feel deep empathy for them. At first, you might genuinely feel sorry for them and want to help, but as time goes on, you start to notice a pattern. Nothing ever changes. They always find themselves caught up in the same problems, and every single time they pull you into their emotional whirlwind, leaving you drained, helpless, and emotionally exhausted. The real danger here isn't just about getting sympathy, it's about control. Playing the victim is a tool they use to manipulate your emotions, making you feel like it's your responsibility to fix everything for them. They know you're a kind-hearted person, someone who wants to help and make a difference. They exploit that goodness, turning it against you, making you feel obligated to carry their burdens and solve their problems. But the moment you try to hold them accountable or encourage them to take responsibility for their actions, they turn the situation around. Suddenly, you're the villain. They accuse you of being cold-hearted, selfish, or unsupportive. They guilt-trip you into thinking that you're abandoning them, that you're the one hurting them, when in reality, they've manipulated you into carrying their emotional weight. Remember, compassion is a beautiful thing. It's what makes us human. But compassion doesn't mean sacrificing your peace for someone who refuses to change or take responsibility for their own life. A person who genuinely wants help will be open to growth, to change, and to working through their problems. They won't expect others to fix everything for them. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we can't control the actions of others, we have full control over our own responses. When you recognize that someone is using the victim role to manipulate you, take a moment to step back. Reflect on what's happening. Are you genuinely helping them, or are you being used as an emotional pawn in their game? You are not responsible for someone else's life. You do not have to sacrifice your inner peace for someone who refuses to take ownership of their own actions. Set strong, clear boundaries. Understand that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and support, not emotional exploitation or manipulation. If someone consistently plays the victim without any intention of changing, it's time to let go. Protect your peace, protect your energy, and protect your mental well-being. Stepping away from this toxic dynamic is not selfish, it's necessary. Because in the end, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You deserve peace, you deserve balance, and you deserve relationships that nourish and uplift you, not drain you. Number 6. They constantly criticize you, but never acknowledge your successes. Evil people always have a dangerous and toxic tactic. They constantly criticize you, but never acknowledge your efforts or successes. This isn't constructive feedback. It's deliberate degradation designed to erode your self-esteem. No matter how hard you try, they will always find flaws, no matter how insignificant. When you achieve something, instead of recognizing your effort, they immediately dismiss its value. If you share an accomplishment, they instantly shift the focus to a mistake or weakness, making you feel like you're never good enough. Imagine spending weeks working tirelessly on a project, putting your heart and soul into it, excited to share your success with someone you trust. You expect support and encouragement, but instead of celebrating with you, they shrug and say, "It's not a big deal," or "You could have done better." Worse, they immediately start talking about their own achievements, completely overshadowing yours. Every time this happens, you feel smaller, as if your success doesn't matter. This isn't accidental, it's a calculated tactic. They want to control how you perceive yourself, to make you doubt your worth. Evil people don't want to see you confident or proud of yourself. They want you to constantly feel the need to prove your value, but they'll never give you the recognition you deserve. Their goal is to keep you dependent on their approval, a approval that will never come. They enjoy seeing you anxious, questioning yourself, and emotionally drained. The scariest part? They do it subtly, pretending they're just trying to help you improve, when in reality, they're suffocating your self-confidence. This behavior is not just hurtful, it's dangerous. It can trap you in a cycle of self-doubt, making you feel like you're never enough, and forcing you to constantly seek validation from someone who will never give it to you. If you encounter someone who constantly criticizes you, but never acknowledges your accomplishments, stop and reevaluate that relationship. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth does not depend on others. You don't need anyone's approval to know your value. You don't need recognition to make your success meaningful. Don't let anyone manipulate your self-esteem. Recognize who truly supports you and who is using you for their own control. protect your peace. Walk away from those who refuse to see your worth and focus on those who respect and appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Stoic Life Journal. If you found value in our video, please click on one of the suggested videos on the screen to continue exploring how Stoicism can transform your daily life and motivate your mind. We appreciate you being a part of our thoughtful community. Until next time, remember, evil hides behind charm. Stay aware, stay strong,